Welcome to Certain Point of View, your first step into a much nerdier world. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on iTunes. Just go to certainpov.com. Thanks. And now your hosts, Ben Milton and Addy Thomas.
Hey, Nerf Herders, I'm Addy Thomas.
And I am Ben Milton.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Certain Point of View. Today, we are doing another news show. We're just rounding up some news items, some of the things that don't deserve its own show, but we still want to talk about. Let's get right into it. But before we get into it, don't forget you can follow the podcast, subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed on iTunes or Google Play so that you're always getting the latest episodes. Just go to certainpov.com. All that information is there, including our social media. All right, well, let's get started with the news. So at San Diego Comic-Con, Kevin Feige announced that Nick Fury will be in 2019's Captain Marvel, which will be set in the 90s.
Oh, hold on. Before we get into this.
Yeah.
Did you see the eclipse today?
Are we really doing this?
Yeah.
We're talking about, like, current events?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I was, like, literally, so I was sitting... And I was, like, passing out, like, just nodding off. I was trying to watch the new Spider-Man cartoon.
Oh, yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, I'm going to try again later. Just maybe it was the wrong day.
No, it wasn't good.
It wasn't good?
It wasn't interesting.
Well, so there's that. And I really liked Ultimate Spider-Man, so I'm even more disappointed that they're canceling it. But it's been, what, like 5 seasons of Ultimate
it's had
Spider-Man.
a good run.
Yeah, so it's not like the Avengers Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah, where they cut it early. Right.
Yeah. But anyway, so I was just kind of sitting there. My boss just kind of came by. He's like, "Hey, you should go and check out the eclipse." I was like, "Okay." And usually when that happens, I just stay at my desk, and because I usually just don't care about whatever party or anything is going on at work. Usually,
You're so antisocial.
oh, I'm crazy antisocial.
What's wrong with you, man?
I don't know.
Parties mean cake, free food.
Yeah. Also means lots of people, and pretentious conversations.
Well, you do work at a pretty pretentious place. I'll give you
It's
that.
not that pretentious.
Come
as far
on.
As, it's no more pretentious than where you work.
Oh, no. My place isn't pretentious. It's assholery.
Isn't that really two sides of the same coin?
No. I would rather be with pretentious than assholery.
Really?
Oh, my God, yes.
Really?
The
You
nonsense,
don't like your own?
Fair play, sir. Fair play. Nonsense on opposite sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
But the assholery on my side is so great.
That's true. I mean, yours is the kind of assholery that I would definitely
You should fear for your life.
On
Yes.
on Facebook.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I've unfollowed quite a few people for very similar assholery subjects that I am forced to listen to on a every once in a while when I go to work.
So I'm glad any of you who are still listening with your kids, but assholery.
Assholery.
Just want to throw that out there again.
Word of the day right there. That's what I learned from this eclipse. Assholery.
Yeah, so I did go out because we actually got on Friday they handed out like a sheet of information about the eclipse and specialized glasses.
They gave you the glasses?
Yeah.
Mother.
I think I think I still have them in my pocket.
No, show it to. Oh man. Doggone it! I really wanted to see it.
Did you really? You were posting nothing but hate about the eclipse on Facebook. I would have totally given it to you.
It's because I was so bitter about not being able to see it. I felt so left out. I just had to spew hate.
Yeah, no, there was a huge crowd outside of work, and everybody was like looking up. I just felt like an idiot, just like putting on the glasses and looking up. I looked, I was like, okay, that's actually kind of cool. I went out.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I did. I actually did, and when I just kind of sat and got over the whole I guess just the circumstances of having to get outside to look up like an idiot.
First world problems.
No, it is.
I had to get up and go outside.
Civilization has built buildings with air conditioning for a reason.
Fair enough. No, I went outside because I wanted and I tried to take a picture of it with my phone.
Yeah,
and I got a cool echo picture of it.
Yeah,
and it was really cool to see. I was outside, I was looking around. I was like, wow, this really looks cool.
Yeah,
I was like, Aiden, look, it's the eclipse, and he was like,
whatever.
I'm watching Wildcrats. I don't give a shit.
See, that's how I kind of feel about that kind of stuff. I was just kind of would rather rewatch last night's Game of Thrones or the fight scene from episode 3 of The Defenders than watch the eclipse.
Yeah, well, except for like you can watch at any time. Like,
I know.
You can't watch the eclipse
exactly.
anytime.
So I did kind of. All right, I dragged myself out against my instinct, and I went out and watched. I actually like found a bench to sit at, and actually like took like I actually looked at it a couple times, and when I like actually sat down, kind of settled down, I was able to actually kind of appreciate it a little bit more than I did. I learned, I laughed, I loved a little bit.
I think we all learned a little bit better about ourselves.
Yeah. You need to call your parents.
Yeah. No.
No.
No, screw those clowns. All right. Let's get into it. Now that we've established
that we're still people who have feelings and not just nerd bots.
Yes.
All right, well, so at San Diego Comic-Con, Kevin Feige announced that Nick Fury will be in 2019's Captain Marvel, which will be set in the 90s. However, Samuel L. Jackson has revealed that he hasn't signed a contract or seen a script, and that furthermore, he is not in Avengers 3 and 4.
So what do you think this means?
I think he's going to be signed on. I also am not counting him out of Avengers 3 and 4. He's definitely not going to be in Black Panther. He said he's like annoyed that he's not in Black Panther. He's like the only black actor who's not in Black Panther.
He's got a fair point.
Right. Well, I think the role that he would have taken is probably taken by Forrest Whitaker. So
yes, probably. Well, I mean, he could have been Nick Fury.
That's true.
We don't know where Nick's been.
Well, I guess they also have like sort of a S.H.I.E.L.D. type agent with Martin Freeman's character. I think what they would have done with him.
Still could have had Nick in it.
They could have. And it'd be nice to bring him back. Like, it kind of makes sense if he's wandering. I mean, clearly he's wandering the earth right now.
Like was it Jules?
Yeah, like Jules.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they said that Nick Fury is in the movie. They did not say that Samuel L. Jackson is in the movie. Is it possible we get a different character or a different actor to play?
Be careful how you phrase this, because I know what you want.
No, it's not what I want. I'm speculating, pure speculation. That we get a different actor to play Nick Fury.
I guess it's possible. So they have said it's pre-eye patch Nick Fury. It's going to be pre-injury. But would you?
They didn't say pre. They just said he won't be wearing a patch.
Oh, I guess that's true.
They didn't say it was pre-injury or
so he's just like walking around with that nasty scar.
Completely different Nick Fury. What if it's an alternate timeline?
Well, yeah. See, I guess if it's also happening, since this movie is coming out after Infinity War, and we have timeline shenanigans that happen, then you could totally recast the role.
What if that's why we haven't? Because there's been a lot of questions of like, well, if Captain Marvel is in the 90s doing this stuff, why haven't we seen her thus far in the universe? What if she's from an alternate timeline? That's
true, and just the timelines get messed up through the course of Infinity War, which totally is a possibility with the reality and time gems and all that kind of stuff. I can see that, and I don't have a problem with that, but it'll be very interesting if, because we know the Skrulls are part of Captain Marvel, if they've always been kind of a threat, and there's the possibility of people we've already seen in certain movies being Skrulls. I feel like that is a cool opportunity.
To do some recasting?
Well, or to even play on people we've had trust with that could have been Skrulls all along. I don't know. I'm fine with it either way. But yeah, I think it could totally be a time to recast it. It just feels weird because like Nick Fury is now like just as much like Samuel L. Jackson to me now because of the movies and the turn the comics have made. Even before they cast
Jackson. My Nick Fury is all predates all that.
Right.
Like I grew up with,
it was Hasselhoff who played him, right?
Yeah. Well, and that was awful, but I grew up with that version of Nick Fury.
Yeah.
The old grizzled World War II vet with the gray sideburn, graying temples and stuff like that, and the eye patch.
Right.
It's basically the same character.
Yeah.
But just a white guy and a black guy. But I think it would be cool. I think that makes the most sense to me is that it's from an alternate timeline. There's some sort of timeline, alternate universe shenanigans going on, just so that then they don't have to. They can recast people as they want to. Then I think the idea of the Skrulls is an interesting idea. I kind of like it, but here's my thing though. It calls into play all sorts of questionable. Like if you say like there's been Skrulls all along, it calls it like they would have had to have written some pretty interesting stuff in the movies that we haven't caught.
Yes, but I think the nature of the Skrulls is an easy retcon to anything that's happened. Like, I don't think there's a whole lot that you really have to change. And in some ways, it can explain some of the decisions Stark made, you know.
Not alcohol.
Right, yeah, not just alcohol.
I prefer just alcohol. I think that's going too far. I don't know. We'll see. It's cool. It's cool. I kind of don't want to see Sam Jackson in the role. I want to see somebody else. Can I just say that?
Yeah, I think
not
that's
that
fine.
I didn't like Sam. I think he's done a great job.
Yeah,
I thought
I love Samuel L. Jackson, but yeah, it's fine.
It'd be cool if they gave us a swerve and gave us somebody else.
Yeah,
start recasting now.
The latest Thor Ragnarok trailer features an appearance from Doctor Strange. So, how involved do you expect Strange to be in this movie?
I expect him to have maybe 3 more lines of dialogue in this movie that we haven't seen.
Do you? I could see him being a little bit more involved. It's not where I would hope it would be. I would love for him to be even more involved, like somehow, like where that, like they have their little team up assembled on the bridge outside Asgard.
As Guardians for the Galaxy.
Yeah, as Guardians for the Galaxy, their little assembly right there. It would be cool if like we just haven't seen him enter the picture there yet. I don't think that's going to happen, but because the search for Odin is also a big part of this story, I do have a feeling we'll see more of him than we may have thought previously, because that is part of that end credit scene from Doctor Strange, where he's said he's going to help him find Odin, so he can get him off Earth.
I think he's going to be the catalyst. He's going to be like the driving force that kind of like makes it all start.
Okay.
Yeah. And he's just like, hey, I found him. He's here. Go. Like, I got to stay on Earth. I got shit to do.
What I also like about it, though, is we've seen 2 very different treatments of magic from Thor so far and in Doctor Strange. And I like that they're bringing the 2 kind of together with this.
Yeah.
Even if it's only for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it kind of validates sort of the Doctor Strange version of it. The Thor version of it was cool early on, but it doesn't sustain itself as things get crazier and crazier in the Marvel universe.
Right.
But so that's why I am excited about Strange and Thor being together in a movie, even for short pieces of it. The next DC film to shoot will be Shazam, which originally featured Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's role as villain Black Adam. Director David F. Sandberg has revealed Black Adam is no longer part of this movie and that the story will focus more on Shazam.
Because leaving The Rock out of a movie is always a good idea. God damn it, DC. Can you do anything right?
You know what? I wonder if this decision is not in their hands.
It could be. It could be The Rock is just saying, I want $1 trillion.
Well, there's 2 things that are a possibility here. Because apparently, it could be The Rock saying, like, after all these, like, misses from DC, that even he doesn't want to try to be the franchise savior.
Tempting fate one too many times.
Right? Because he's also had a couple rough reviews in the last couple of years, too. So he hasn't been quite the savior he used to be for fledgling franchises. The other thing is, apparently there's a commission out there for him exploring a presidential run in 2020. Do you think there's legitimacy to that?
Jeez. No. Well, maybe. Who knows?
Right?
Now that we've seen what we've seen.
We've seen a lot of crazy people run for president.
If he and Oprah ran, I mean, it's a shoo-in.
I'd vote for him.
I'd vote for him probably. No, I probably wouldn't.
You don't think so?
No. I'd have to see I'd have to see. I can't vote for somebody with a tattoo. I'd have to see what they're actually.
What if he made "You're Welcome" his campaign song? You would vote for him
if he would perform it at the presidential inauguration,
right?
He'd be pretty bitching. No, I don't. I have a hard time imagining. I'd have to see.
You'd have to see his platform. And that's good. That's a good thing. There's still hope for America. When there's still people.
I'm over the let's just vote for somebody famous because they're famous. It was a dumb idea to begin with. It's an even dumber idea now.
Right.
As far as this movie goes, look, who knows what? I mean, DC's shaking things up. I assume Joss might have had something to do with this. Taking a look at if he's going to be taking over the reins from Snyder as sort of leading DC into a new and bright future.
Yeah, this is a tough one. He may have looked
at that title and just said, "This is bullshit. Let's establish the character before we bring his greatest arch nemesis in."
You know what? And that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment. I could see Whedon's influence, or just let's remember
common sense.
Yeah. Who would you like to play Shazam though?
Oh, John Cena.
Yeah, I could. He's on my top 3.
John
My
Cena.
number 1 is too old for the role, though.
Yeah.
Patrick Warburton.
He is. I mean, you would have to pump him so full of steroids to make him look like a superhero again. They couldn't even squeeze him in the Tick outfit to get him to come back for that.
For that matter, the guy who's playing the Tick now, David Serafinowicz,
Yeah.
I would take him as
whose name
too.
I cannot say.
Yeah, I got lucky to hear it.
He's always not on my actors to play list because I can't pronounce his name. He will never be on a. You know who you should cast is that guy because I can't say his name.
He's hilarious.
He's
though.
great. He's great. I can't wait for the Tick. I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, the only other person I'd throw in there is, and this is based on his appearance in The Hateful Eight and in the 22 and 23 Jump Street, but I would go for Channing Tatum.
Tatum is a good call.
As
Tatum is a good call.
Because that unabashed immaturity.
Yeah, just silly.
In a body that doesn't match the maturity.
It's too big for yeah. That would be a good one. Yeah, him or Cena would be my front runners.
Yeah,
on that,
I
honestly.
do, but I like every time I hear Cena, it grows on me.
He's not an awful actor. He's not a great actor by any stretch of the imagination.
But you don't need a great actor for
yeah.
Shazam.
No.
You actually need a good child actor for Shazam.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, that is tough.
Yeah.
It's possible, though. We got a great X-23.
That's true. But
Miracles do happen.
Yeah,
Yes, it's rare.
It is rare. I wouldn't. I'd be wary of that.
Yeah. So the MonsterVerse continues with King Kong and the Godzilla movies. In 2019, we can expect Godzilla King of Monsters, and in 2020, the two will fight each other in Godzilla vs. Kong. Director Adam Wingard says that unlike the original 1962 movie, the fight won't have an ambiguous ending, and there will be a definitive winner.
I'm just not. I'm not interested in this.
Really?
I don't know why. Like I should be. Like I look
It's
at
a
it on
spectacle
paper.
movie.
I look at it on paper and I go, "Oh, I should love this. I should be totally into it." I didn't watch the last Kong.
Yeah, I didn't either, but I want to. I don't know why I didn't.
I say that, but I don't make time to go see it.
Do you think that'll change now with Movie Pass? With subscribing
yes.
like a $10
yes,
subscription.
if I could actually get if I get the $10 subscription and I can go see a movie every day of the month. Off with that,
you probably see.
I'll probably
Skull
see
Island.
some more movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably go see it. Yeah, I mean the problem with going to see movies for me is not that I don't like the experience. It's not that I don't enjoy going to see movies. It's the cost involved in going to see movies. So if I could, I'll probably do movie. I would have to do Movie Pass in order to get into this series of films.
Yeah,
to be honest.
So according to The Hollywood Reporter, Oscar-nominated director Stephen Daldry is in talks with Disney to direct and develop a script for an Obi-Wan Solo movie. Ewan McGregor has not been attached at the moment.
No, no. You cannot do an Obi-Wan movie at this stage of the game without Ewan McGregor.
Maybe it's just Ghost Obi-Wan, so we just need a Alec Guinness lookalike.
They're just gonna digitally
Obi-Wan the friendly ghost.
Oh, I'd watch that. It's Star Wars. I'd watch it, and I'd pay $20 to see it. Are you kidding me? That sounds amazing. I mean, I really have a hard time imagining this without McGregor.
I go back and forth with what I want on this movie. I
don't want this movie.
No, I definitely want. I do actually want this movie.
You want this one?
Yeah, because I love Obi-Wan. I think
he's the best, but I don't know that I need more. Sometimes there's too much of a good thing. You know?
It is true, and this is one of the places where it is closer to that than it should be.
How do you top the Obi-Wan that we've been given in Clone Wars and Rebels? Like, how do you like what?
I like the idea
left?
of a full there's two movies I like, and I think I've pitched one of them before. Like the whole idea of younger Obi-Wan, like between Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, with a younger Anakin. Like so in between Jake Lloyd and annoying Hayden Christensen. But like the two of them like connecting with each other. Like the movie that I think of most when I think about that movie is Hunt for the Wilder People from Taika Waititi, which is like a really cool like coming of age story, but also two people kind of finding themselves through grief and loss as well. So and in that movie you have a pair of foster parents and this kid who has gone in and out of every single foster home. So he's, kind of angry, doesn't like the system. Like, this is his last chance before he goes to juvie type of deal. And the dad is just not interested in him at all. But the mom is the one who's loving him. The mother dies. And
spoiler alert, jeez.
This movie's been out for long enough. but and then the two of them are out, like the guy's hunting, the kid is like running away from home, fakes his own death, and there's sort of a comical like fugitive-esque chase from this really like from the Department of Child Services lady who takes her job way too seriously. That thread's going on, but the two of them like get close as they're trying to get back home. And in the course of it, the father is assumed to be a child abductor, so now he's being hunted too, and the two of them are running from everybody. Oh, so it just goes like all sorts of crazy.
And this is the movie you want to see with Obi-Wan?
Well, but the thing is, it is very dialed down despite like that description, and it's sort of interesting, like the two of them connecting with each other, and like. They're very similar. I think they're really, really similar characters, especially with Obi-Wan clearly not really wanting to raise Anakin or thinking he's the chosen one, but doing it out of obligation to Qui-Gon. And that's never something that's ever really been kind of explored with any of the stories that we've had, whether it's comics or books. But it's been kind of like, I don't know, do you think that's been retconned? Like, sort of Obi-Wan is okay with, like...
Yeah.
Like mentoring Anakin?
I know that like there's that one line in the movies where he's like, I don't really want a Padawan.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's the only indication that you get.
Yeah.
From there on out, they're brothers.
Yeah, and see, that's the problem I've always had, because that transition never made sense to me. Like, they go from, like...
You go to accepting your fate. Like, I mean, he's in a religious
But I'd love to see them,
hey, like, this is your Padawan. This is your Padawan. Deal with it. And you go...
Right. All right.
And then, like, you start having adventures together, and they hit it off.
Yeah.
Like,
I'd like to see the adventure that kind of, like, solidifies their relationship.
Okay.
But that's that. And then there's always the one that a lot of people talk about, like a Western set on Tatooine with just Obi-Wan and the elements of, like, gangsters or, people like...
I'm more interested in that.
Yeah. I'm totally for that.
I don't actually want to see any more young Obi-Wan and Anakin. I feel like that's been... explored.
Yeah.
That relationship, the rise and fall of that relationship is fine for me where it is.
But don't you think we've kind of gotten that story too with what we got on Rebels with him versus Maul?
No, because that was just him and Maul. That wasn't him on Tatooine. Like, we don't really know what his life. We got it in the comics. Yeah. I see. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not that excited about an Obi-Wan movie.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this is a great character. It's my favorite character in all of Star Wars right now. But I feel like everything that's been said and done with Obi-Wan has kind of been said and done. Like, there's not a lot else to add to this character that needs to be added. Like, yes, you can tell cool stories with this character and put him in different scenarios and retcon it into the timeline to make it work or whatever. Or in my mind, you could make a new character.
Yeah.
And tell a cool story. There's no reason that we need another Obi-Wan Kenobi story, because it's not like people are like, gosh, I wish I knew more about Obi-Wan. Like, what was he really like?
Would you want to see Obi-Wan as his teen?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I feel like that relationship was explored
enough. Yeah.
Well enough. Yeah. I mean, anything you do at this point now with Obi-Wan is kind of overkill. Overtelling.
I can see that. Yeah.
A little bit in my mind, but I could be completely wrong. They could make the greatest Obi-Wan Kenobi story ever, and I will be the biggest fanboy ever. It's entirely possible.
Yeah.
But on paper, I go, you can't come up with another character. Like, there's nobody else. Like,
right. No, I'm with you there.
How about we get a Jyn Erso backstory? Yeah, that would be nice.
At this point, I just want new territory. Just go into new territory, new characters.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I completely agree.
So this past weekend, we had a new Game of Thrones episode. It was season 7, episode 6, Beyond the Wall, where we
should have been entitled "God Damn."
So this one's it's sort of a mixed reaction. Like, I really liked it initially, but the plot holes have really started to kind of show as you think about it.
Yeah, there's some problems with this episode.
But
it's the spectacle of it is amazing.
Yes, and there's so much awesome though that I'm still like, ultimately, I feel this was still a really cool episode, but I'm a little bit more excited about next week. What are some of your highlights?
Arya, you dummy. You big dummy.
I couldn't care less about that story. I just wanted to
Arya's my favorite character on the show.
I wanted to see the Magnificent Seven above the wall,
Well, you got plenty of that. Arya's my favorite character in this show. I love her journey as a faceless man and everything. To see her so easily manipulated still by Littlefinger is frustrating for me. Because she's an expert at lying and detecting lies, and she's so easily duped.
Littlefinger is one of the best. See, the thing is, Littlefinger has to be one of the last people standing. There was he always has been he's the guy who started everything. Yeah, and we've never really explored why. I mean, we know kind of why, because he wants to sit on the Iron Throne. So it does seem like he is kind of one of the ultimate villains on the show. For sure. So he does have to, I know I hear a lot of people are like, how is he still alive on the show? But the thing is, he has secured his place. He helped win the Battle of the Bastards in a big way.
In a huge way, for sure.
So it's hard to just say, oh, well,
let's get rid of him.
Right.
Right. Yeah, no, for sure. But it is also hard to see Arya played so easily.
Well, and here's the other thing I also started realizing with this season. There are way too many Starks still standing. It's really, as much as they've been definitely victims for a lot of the series, there are far more who have survived than I realized. Obviously
there's a ton of them.
Yeah,
still.
I mean, obviously Ned and Rob and his wife and Catelyn and Rickon are gone. So that's a significant amount. That's not
more of the dogs died than anything else.
That's true. Yeah, more wolves died.
Yeah, we lost a lot of those. So the Starks are the Starks.
But I don't think all of them can survive to the end of this series.
No, Sansa's got to die.
Do you think Sansa's going to die, or do you think Arya's going to?
I think Sansa and Arya are both going to die.
Because I also remember, and it always stood out to me when I was initially watching the show. But in season 1, there's a conversation that Ned Stark has with Arya when she's first practicing sword training. That be careful not to stab your sister with a sword. And that just felt like
foreshadowing.
Yeah, that she's so I've heard a lot of people complaining about this story, but I always kind of expected it to sort of happen.
Yeah.
That somehow
Arya's going to come after Sansa.
Yeah, it'd be unfortunate circumstances and their personalities sort of getting.
They never did like each other. I mean, I would be okay with. I get it.
Yeah.
I would like to see her see through some of the bullshit around it.
And I agree with you that it is a very thin sort of plot that this premise is resting on for her to be manipulated, for both of them to be manipulated.
Right.
There was a hope that I had at one point that Sansa would just and take off the mask, and it's Arya all along just trying to manipulate things to get Littlefinger. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be the case.
No, I don't see that happening. The other thing, so then of course we had Jon and the gang up above the wall.
Yep,
which was cool. Had a lot of really fun moments, a lot of really cool moments. The spectacle with the dragons was amazing. But again, that whole plot after a while, once you have a moment to catch your breath, you go, that didn't make any damn
a lot of Deus Ex Machina.
What just happened? How did this all the timeline in this show is so fucked up.
It's funny because I've been very forgiving of that until this episode. Because when it was Gendry run back to the wall and get a raven to Daenerys and get back in time all over one night, or I guess some people made the argument that it's several nights that they're sitting there, but that doesn't make much sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all. There's so much about it that just. And then how long does it take her to fly?
Right.
All the way up.
Super speed, man.
Find them somewhere above the wall. She just happens to find them.
Right.
It made no damn sense.
Yeah.
It made no. I mean, it was a great.
It was fun to watch, and the payoff was cool.
It was fantastic.
And Ice Dragon. Ice Dragon was cool. I know you don't care.
So yeah. It's cool.
Or White Dragon, because he's probably still going to be fire breathing. You
think?
I think so. I don't think he's going to be a legit full on ice. I don't know. It could be either way, but I don't.
It could go either way.
Yeah.
To me, it was. There's things that I love about this series And the things that I love about it are also the things that I hate about it. And that, like, a lot of it is pretty tropish.
Do you think a lot of this is also just the consequence? Like, well, so there's two things that I've heard a lot of criticisms about this right now is because Benioff and Weiss are working off outlines instead of actual book material.
Yeah.
So there's there's fewer character moments for them to mine from and create on the show. So we're getting a lot of plot,
just action.
Yeah, plot and action more than the character moments that have made this show really stand out.
Yeah.
But then the other thing I also think of is this is also the third act of the entire story.
Yeah, it's time to wrap things up, and they have X amount of dollars to do it with.
And it's hard, like, yes, you can have character moments in that sort of rising
and
action.
We had some really great character moments this week while they were marching and talking to each other.
Part of a big saga like that is those moments are going to be outshined by the big
spectacle.
Yeah, like if you saw, like, Return of the King still has those character moments.
Yeah,
you just it's just an easy comparison because of the sort of the
genre.
the genre and the size of the story. So, but very, like, you know, Battle of Minas Tirith and the Black Gate are huge spectacle moments, and the Eagles coming. All of those are big spectacle moments that outshine some of smaller character moments that are definitely there.
Yeah.
So, that's why I'm sort of like, I have mixed feelings about it.
Yeah, I do too. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. I don't want to miss an episode.
I will say, as amazing as Ice Dragon was, though, I think we're missing, honestly, what was the best moment in the episode. And it was who I've nicknamed Oh Blue Eyes, the Zombear.
Oh, Blue Eyes. The zombie bear was frightening as hell.
Right?
When he first, like, attacked that guy, like, from the side,
it's insane.
Jenny almost jumped out of her seat. She was so freaked out. She's like, "What the hell was that?"
I was so excited. I was like, "Oh my god, it's like a WoW party in the snow." I just imagined this was like a Lich King dungeon.
Yeah, it did feel
because they killed the healer first.
Yeah. Yes, yes, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. It's tropish. That's my biggest criticism of this series, and it's true of the books too. Of, like, if you're a fan of these types of stories, like, it's like, and you know, it fits right into the stereotypes pretty neatly. Yeah. Sometimes where you're just like, that's a little too expected, but it was fun. I enjoyed it.
There were some other recaps I was reading, and they were like, it felt so D&D-ish that, like, even when the Hound, like, drops his hammer and changes up his weapon and skill tree and points and everything to go for a different, you know, totally different spec, basically, right off the spot. And
it is what it is.
Yeah, it was cool. I will say honestly, my biggest issue with that episode is the lack. I mean, yes, you had a dragon death, and that was a huge consequence. Someone from the party needed to die, like someone with a name in the party, other than Thoros of Myr.
I thought that was a good death.
Thoros was good. It was also a little weird, though, that it happened in the middle of the night from the cold, but it still worked. I'm glad Tormund is still alive because I want more Brienne moments from him. But they kind of needed to kill him there.
Yeah.
It was a little like, that was a little like, oh, okay, they still pulled him out of all those zombies.
It was shocking. It was shocking that this show
pulled their punches.
Yeah, that blinked. They were like, because they kill everybody whenever they want to.
This
like,
felt
no
like
one's safe.
This wasn't Glenn under the dumpster bad. But
it was pretty close.
It was, yeah, right.
It was pretty close
because there was a lot of zombies on him.
The only reason it wasn't as bad as Glenn under the dumpster
because it was the fake me out for Glenn.
It was a fake me out for Glenn, and they milked it for like 2 episodes.
No, more than 2 episodes.
Yeah, half a season.
Yeah, because we went through a break.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so at least, like, they were like, and we're not gonna kill him. We'll pull him.
Yeah.
So I give him a little credit. All right, whatever. It's a good show. I'm watching.
All right, so some upcoming shows and movies we had. Actually, this past weekend we had the new Marvel Spider-Man on Disney XD. It's a new animated series. Upcoming on the 25th, we have The Tick, which is premiering on Amazon Prime. And, of course, we have the season finale of Game of Thrones on the 27th. So that's coming up real soon. Those are the major things that are happening within the next week. We'll keep you updated on other shows, premieres, and major episodes and movies that are going to be coming out along the way. But all of that, you can also find this show and our regular show also on our website, certainpov.com. And until next week, stay scruffy, my nerf herders.
Thanks for listening to Certain Point of View. Don't miss an episode. Just subscribe, rate, and review the podcast on iTunes. Head over to certainpov.com.